Tonight on News 5 Live, an American national perishes in a road traffic mishap near the Agric Showgrounds in Belmopan. SSB says an increase in minimum wage will equally affect the cost of living. And residents in Belize City attend a mobile land clinic for Freetown and Caribbean Shores constituencies. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Great Belize Productions Channel 5, proud winner of 9 Caribbean Media Awards for 2021. Best Investigative Report, Best News Item, Best Coverage of People with Disabilities, Best Financial Literacy Journalism, Best Videographer, Best Television Commercial Spot, and the People's Choice Award, with 2 special mentions for Financial Literacy Journalism.
Make your summer better. Over $35,000 in cash and prizes with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Here's how you can enter for a chance to win. Purchase any device, sign up for a smart postpaid, broadband, or VoIP plan, use $50 or more regular prepaid credit, do a SIM swap, or text to the short code. You win 8946. And in the body of the message, enter the number of entries you would like to purchase. Each entry costs only 50 cents.
Don't waste any time. You can be the winner of weekly prizes starting July 1st. All methods give you more chances to win. Airline tickets, overnight stays at numerous resorts, cash prizes, gift certificates, and much, much more. One lucky person will win the grand prize of a $10,000 shopping spree courtesy Court and Smart.
Promotion ends September 16, 2022. So make your summer better by getting in the race to win with Smart Summer Sweepstakes. Smart, bringing people together.
The Social Security Board, in collaboration with the Labor Department, takes this opportunity to remind insured persons of the requirements for compensation when on sick leave. Any employee who has worked with an employer for at least 2 months is entitled to 16 working days of sick leave with full pay every year. This is how it works. Upon approval of a sickness or injury benefit claim by SSB, 80% of the employee's weekly insurable earnings is paid as a Social Security benefit, and the difference in the employee's salary is paid by the employer. This is to ensure that the employee does not suffer any loss of wages when ill. After 16 days, compensation for sick leave is paid as a Social Security benefit only. Some conditions apply. This message is brought to you by the Social Security Board and the Labor Department. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Keep still now.
Ouch.
I tell you no move.
Ma, you really can't get a mannequin for this, ma? Really?
Well, son, if I never lend you the $2,000 to buy the kids' computer and the book, I may have the money for buy my mannequin.
It's definitely better to borrow from the bank than from your friends or relatives. This way, all you owe is money.
Would you like me to turn around?
That would be good. Turn on, turn on, turn on.
Take advantage of the back-to-school promotion currently being offered by the Belize Bank.
Summer is coming to an end, so let's end it with a bang. Come see kids from all over the country while they take center stage to show off their talent on Open Your Eyes Summerfest 2022. That's right. Mark your calendars. Friday, August 26th at 6:30 a.m. Come and start your man in right with kids singing and dancing. Also, come take advantage of great food, entertainment, and loads of back-to-school giveaways, including gifts for the first 100 kids who enter the fest. And the best thing of all, entrance is free. So, what are you waiting for? Set your alarm and pencil in that date, because Summerfest 2022 is one event you don't want to miss.
KTV.
Vote for your favorite KTV contestant by texting the number of votes followed by a space then your contestant's number, and send it to Smart Code 5885. Here are this week's contestants.
Everybody wanna feel Irene, forget the troubles and rock with me. You know feel our reggae music sweet, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg, I remember.
Together, it brings us closer, closer to forever. And there is nothing I could say, oh my God.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight. And don't forget to tune in every Tuesday, live, only on 5.
Environmentally degradable plastics, or EDP, are plastics that are affected by a combination of environmental conditions that cause the plastic to break down within an acceptable time frame. They are specifically designed to degrade into carbon dioxide, water, and other biomass substances. The level of breakdown can vary based on standard test methods appropriate to the plastic. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Optimist Club 501 Belize presents its first annual theatre and comedy production, one hilarious Kixie comedy night. Returning back on stage in our jewel after 40 years, we bring to you Ray Gongara.
Trust me, you no want to miss this year.
Althea Leslie.
No Tory there, you know. But you got to come. You got to come get the Tory. Tory there.
And all the way from Jamaica for the first time in Belize, Owen Blacker Ellis.
I've been all over the Caribbean region and I have never been to Belize. Can you believe it? It is unbelievable.
Bliss Center for the Performing Arts comes alive for 2 nights only on Friday, August 26th and Saturday, August 27th. Showtime is at 8 p.m. Belize time. Early arrival is suggested. Come experience a great night of comedy and laughter hosted by William Neal. All proceeds from this event will be used to support the youths in Belize through projects sponsored by Optimist Club 501 Belize. Tickets can be purchased in Belize from Miss Darlene Gentle at 615-1601. Reserve tickets, $35 Belize dollars. General tickets, $25 Belize dollars. And local online streaming, $20 Belize dollars. For international streaming tickets, contact Miss Bernadette Griggs at 858-442-4594 or Miss Vanessa Jenkins Young at 347-764-8123. Cost for international streaming is $20 US. Live streaming will be aired only on Friday, August 26th at 8 p.m. Belize time, and thereafter rebroadcasted on Sec9 live streaming for a limited time only. One hilarious Kixie comedy night.
Make sure you get on the tickets.
Make sure you get on the ticket here. See you later.
Sponsored by Love FM, Belizean Dreams Resort, and Garifuna Flavor, a taste of Belize.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, August 25th. I am Sabrina Daly. An American national lost his life as a result of injuries he sustained in a road traffic accident on Wednesday evening. According to police, 48-year-old Steven Savarda was driving a black Audi SUV with California plates along the Hummingbird Highway when he lost control of the vehicle and collided into a concrete culvert near the National Agriculture and Trade Show ground in Belmopan. He was trapped inside the mangled vehicle until first responders were able to get him out. Savarda's lifeless body was extricated from the vehicle and transported to the Western Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Records show that Savarda entered the country in his vehicle on August 17th. He was scheduled to leave by September 16th. Police reportedly secured all his property from the vehicle. An investigation continues. It's been exactly 2 weeks since Private Roxanne Hill of the Belize Defense Force lost her life in a road traffic accident on the George Price Highway near Cotton Tree Village. 10 other soldiers were injured in that accident. Tonight, Brigadier General Azrael Loria joined the family in making an appeal for blood for one of the soldiers who remain hospitalized at this time and is in need of a surgery. Corey Martels remains hospitalized at the KHMH and is in need of a blood donation for his blood type AB negative.
All the other soldiers that were involved in that accident are out. They have been released from the hospital. It's only one that has a fractured femur or his leg. Needs surgery, and for the surgery to take place, he needs about 8 or so pints of blood. But the type of blood that he requires is it's a rare type. It's the very rare type. But we are asking. We have a list of our soldiers that we have gone through in the BDF, which is not much. It's a rare type of blood. We have gotten 4 pints so far, and we are asking anybody out there now, because we have maxed out the number of soldiers that want or that have that type of blood to donate. So we would ask the public now to come forward if they have that rare type of blood to please assist us. He is a soldier in need, and the type of blood is rare. And
Area Representative Francis Fonseca today also commented on the death of 8-year-old student Mercedes Campos. Campos was run over by a drunk driver last Friday at the corner of Poinsetta Street and the Philip Gosen Highway in Ladyville. Orange Walk resident Elias Reynoso was arraigned earlier this week with manslaughter by negligence following the fatal road traffic accident. The family is from the Belama area, which is in the Freetown Division. Minister Fonseca speaks about the unfortunate situation.
Very, very, very sad situation. Actually, I know the family very well. They are residents of my constituency in Belamo, the Guevara family, and we've reached out to them. We're trying to provide them with every support that we can. There's no words of comfort that you can give to someone who loses a child. So it's a tragic accident. I'm confident that the police department is doing a full investigation and will hold the person responsible accountable. It's tragic. We value our children, but we are working very closely with the family to provide them with the support they need during this very, very difficult time.
Heavy rains were once again recorded overnight that affected various parts of the country, including the low-lying areas of Belize City. No sooner than the Briceño administration had gone to the National Assembly for an allocation of $12 million to repair streets and drains that were damaged from last week's flood, some neighborhoods in the old capital were once again underwater. On Wednesday, in supporting the motion brought to the House by Cayo South Area Representative Julius Espat, his colleague Gilroy Usher Sr. spoke on repairs that have become necessary in his Port Loyola constituency.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to make reference to the supplementary allocation in regards to the $12 million for infrastructure development. Mr. Speaker, the allocation is very important for a number of reasons. It is a fact that our country was hit by sudden heavy rains that caused tremendous damages to the streets and roads in our cities, towns and villages. Madam Speaker, it is also a fact that the floods were so fierce that they destroyed a number of culverts that had stood up in regular rains and washed away several parts of many streets in rural areas and urban areas of the country. Madam Speaker, this supplementary budget is very important and timely because, first of all, the funds are needed to address the needs of the streets in the city and rural areas, and also, Mr. Speaker, for the economy to function at its highest level. It is very important that the people, as well as vehicles and others, are able to move from point A to point B with the least difficulty. Madam Speaker, it is also necessary because more economic activity will stir up, as I said, when people can move around and vehicles more freely. I am happy to say to the residents of Port Loyola who are listening that given the track record of the government and the track record of the Ministry of Infrastructure in giving value for money, I'm sure that out of that $1.9 million, every effort will be made to upgrade JR Street, Butterfly Street, Reggae Street, Gibson Street, Marisdina Street, and other streets in the Port Loyola division that were heavily affected with the recent floods.
Coming up, SSB goes digital. Its online portal is easy as ABC.
¿Sabías que Hospital Galenia modificó los protocolos de seguridad y prevención de salud ante la pandemia de COVID-19 para evitar contagios?
Creamos un concepto que denominamos quirófano santuario no COVID.
Hospital Galenia, más que un hospital.
Benny's Inter-Office Basketball League, in memory of the late, great Ian Mariano Sr., gives to you 3 monster games this Friday night, August 26th, at the Mexico Sporting Complex in Belize City. 10 Titanic teams have signed up to see who will be awarded with the coveted 2022 IBL Championship ring. Game 1 will feature the Belize Coast Guard Belize Port Authority trying to sail past our national defense as they battle against the Belize Defense Force Batsa Power Team. And let's get ready to rumble! Game 2 will be the 3-time IBL champions Rico Black and the Tough Enough Tours Joseph and Taylor team going up against the National Sports Council Belize City Council squad for basketball supremacy.
Who want the dance and stop police?
The Belize Police Group, led by Andrew Bynum Ortiz, will try to arrest the Central Health Customs, led by Glency Cooper Lopez, in the final game 3 of the night.
Just another level!
IBL is back on the block, bigger and better, this Friday night at the Mexico Sporting Complex in Belize City, beginning at 7 p.m. sharp. VIP $7, adults $5, and kids under 12 $3. So bring with the entire family for a night of inter-office basketball, y'all. Sponsors: Benny's Home Center, Sprite, Powerade, and Crystal Water. Let's get it on.
My name is Dr. Marcelo Coy, and I'm an obstetrician and gynecologist at Belize Medical Associates. Pregnant women are at risk of getting infected with the COVID-19 virus and are at higher risk to develop severe complications and illnesses. The COVID-19 vaccine is safe to use during pregnancy. All pregnant women should get vaccinated to protect themselves and their newborn. Visit any vaccination site and get vaccinated.
we had 10 of those local competitions, 5 different categories, under 15 male, under 18 male and female, as well as the open male and female. And from these local tournaments, the winners emerged, and those are the teams who came to the national championships, the finals this weekend. In terms of fans, it was not well attended, but in terms of team participation and the level of competition, it was excellent.
I'm going to assume the responsibility as the Minister of Sports. I told my team that I come here to work, and we are going to deliver for the Belizean people. For many, many years, sports has been neglected in this country, and I'm trying to revive it and revitalize it. Our country needs sports. We are trying to reduce the crime in this country. And if we can engage them in sports, then we are going to reduce crime. So I feel very elated.
Is coming to an end, so let's end it with a bang. Come see kids from all over the country while they take center stage to show off their talent on Open Your Eyes Summerfest 2022. That's right. Mark your calendars. Friday, August 26th at 6:30 a.m. Come and start your man in right with kids singing and dancing. Also, come take advantage of great food, entertainment, and loads of back-to-school giveaways, including gifts for the first 100 kids who enter the fest. And the best thing of all, entrance is free. So, what are you waiting for? Set your alarm and pencil in that date, because Summerfest 2022 is one event you don't want to miss.
Thank you for supporting us throughout our journey over the years. Thank you for helping us to expand and improve our products and services. Thank you for allowing us to form new partnerships and develop new and exciting promotions. And thank you for being patient with us during these changing times. As we continue our journey, we would like to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to serve you.
Venice, celebrating 75 years. Quality and savings. Quality and savings.
Belizeans deserve a fast, dependable, high-quality internet service in their homes for online, virtual classes, and to work from home. It's the new way of life. Diginet is the #1 fiber service that is powering Belize's digital transformation. And now, this reliable fiber service is even more affordable with our new entry plan. For a limited time only, you and your family can enjoy 20 megabits per second of fiber service to your home for only $49 monthly. No more missed classes and interrupted meetings. It's costing you time and money. Diginet is better than cable and better than wireless. Visit a Digistore today to sign up for the best home internet service in Belize. Come see what you've been missing. Same high quality, fast, and reliable fiber service, now at an even lower price. For more information, visit livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, our national telecom.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, It means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
It's been around since 1981, collecting contributions from the working class and returning it to them as sickness or retirement benefits. Now, the Social Security Board has transitioned from manual records keeping to a modern digital database that provides information and answers with the click of a button online. But as the organization adapts to the changing times, it must also be financially viable to be able to pay its growing number of pensioners when they reach their twilight years. But with contributions between employer and employee now at 10%, that discussion is still some years away. Today, SSB presented its latest figures. News 5's Marian Ali was there and filed the following report.
With an initial grant of less than $54,000 and an interest-free loan of $114,000 more, the Social Security Board began operating just over 4 decades ago, looking after the financial needs of almost 30,000 insured persons. By the end of 2021, however, that number had ballooned to over 107,000. Prime Minister John Briceño hastened to point out that this number still only represents 66% of the total labor force and urged the uninsured to join this scheme in order that they could receive their benefits in times of need.
This means that about 54,000 people do not have Social Security coverage. To these persons, I say, get yourself registered, make your contributions, for this is the only way you can reap the benefits of your Social Security system in the long term.
Currently, there are over 14,000 persons on a Social Security pension, a number that keeps growing because of the number of persons that retire each year, coupled with the extended lifespan that people are now enjoying. This is the reason given for the need to invest Social Security monies so that they can earn interest to spread across pensioners in the future. The monies we contribute to the fund, the calculations show, will not be sufficient to care for us in retirement. In his financial review, SSB's General Manager of Corporate Services, Leo Vasquez, shared that of every dollar that contributors pay in, 72 cents go towards our pension, 19 cents go towards sick benefits, and 9 cents go towards employment injury benefits. Using an example, he explained that we get back all the monies we pay into Social Security over the years in just a couple of years of pension.
Someone who's at the 500 per week, and we say obviously the 520 at the 10% is 52. That's an employer and employee, for which, as you know, the employer does 55% and employee at 45. But together is $52. We said per week, 52. 2704 is your annual contribution to the fund. We then took that as an example for 10 years, 27,040. All of that money that you have put in for those 10 years comes back to you in 3 years, 4 months. And that will work for every wage band at that base rate.
This is something that SSB's actuary, Hernando Montas, explained to us afterwards.
Share contribution is not enough to finance pensions. The other source of income is from investment income on the portfolio.
And to keep the scheme current, SSB will have to hold consultations again on increases in the contributions we pay in. But Montas assured those discussions are a few years down the road.
This is the same thing that happens in the United States and UK. Look at the United States regulation. Periodically, they have been increasing the ceiling and the contribution rate. So the situation in Belize will have to follow the same path. Okay. So every 10 years, more or less, increases in contributions will be required. To get 60%, which is the ILO international rate, to allow you to keep the same standard of living, you need to pay more than 10% contribution to Social Security. But we are doing here, and in all the CARICOM countries, on a gradual step.
Another consideration when this discussion comes up is the proposal to extend the retirement ages, which currently stand at 60 for voluntary retirement and 65 for mandatory retirement. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
Now that SSB has gone digital, everyone can create their own account and use it to access personal information, find out general details about an application, or even apply for a benefit or a new card online. An SSB representative walked us through the process today.
Our account creation process is a very simple one. The customer is asked to supply some basic information, date of birth, phone number, and email address. Now, once that is supplied, the user would then hit the send verification code. This is done so that we can ensure that you don't already have an account with us. Once your email has been verified, then you can proceed to finishing up with your account by supplying your password, first name, last name, and then lastly, stating your reason why you're creating your account. If you're wondering what happens to those people that already created an account, right? Now, we've made the transition to the redesign a really seamless one for you. All you have to do is simply go to the login page, click on the forget your password link, and then just walk through the process of resetting your password. Once this is done, you'll be able to have access to all your Social Security data and all our online services. Once you log into our portal, you will be directed to your home page, right? Now, if you are a new account holder, you have very limited access to the things you can do, right? So, as was previously mentioned, for those of you who are registered IPs, that is, you have a Social Security number, you will be able to request for access to your Social Security data.
One interesting revelation today was that while the number of COVID cases is fewer today and the symptoms are less severe than a few months ago, the Social Security Board says that payouts for COVID sickness claims remain high. SSB actuary Hernando Montas says there are some disparities that need to be examined.
COVID is having a big impact, COVID, on the scheme now. And I don't know how you can tell doctors to realize that once they issue a prescription, they are very complacent with some people. So they have to there is no way to control what they do, but the COVID increase, I don't know if COVID is becoming down, but the cost of COVID is going up. There had to be some control there, but it's very difficult to control what the doctors prescribe. Yeah. And the insured person, some of them will like it. The problem is most Social Security schemes only replace 2/3 of salary when they are sick. Here in 2001, it was increased to 80%. And we told them at that time that that was too much, you know. And so people with 80% of salary, they are very happy. They don't want to go back to work when they get 80%. And if they continue working at home and nobody realizes that they are continuing working, they can get the salary or the self-employed scheme, the self-employed income, and the same time get COVID. So there is a little problem dealing with compliance and inspection there that has to be looked at very carefully.
While employers in the minimum wage bracket have been clamoring for an increase, SSB actuary Hernando Montas explained that because everything in economics is linked, an increase in salaries will inevitably affect the cost of goods and services.
Now workers will be claiming higher salaries to keep the cost of living the same. The CPI is going up. Last year it was 1%. This year it will be more than 3% or 4%. And this will be a cycle for 1 or 2 or 3 years only until it comes down again to 1%. So the next 2 years there will be some salary increases, and that might have an impact on Social Security.
What about the increase on minimum wage? Do you see that having an impact as well?
The minimum wage will very likely, they will be the unions will like to increase the minimum wage. That's why I said in my presentation, oh right, the minimum wage, the 335 right now, should go up, but then the 2 wage bands should go up, to be eliminated, because it doesn't make any rationale to keep a wage band of 55 per week or 90 per week, which are the first two, when the minimum wage goes up.
Yes.
So it should go to 130, and they will be able to get higher pensions also. Yes.
On Wednesday, the government of Belize sought approval from the House of Representatives to spend $1.5 million on bakers across the country as a form of assistance in order to keep the cost of bread as low as possible. This subsidy was to have come into effect since June. But as Prime Minister Briceño told reporters outside the House, bakers kept moving the goalpost as their production cost increased.
It has not started yet simply because they're constantly changing the goalposts. Constantly, you should start to have, when we already think that we have a settlement, then, for instance, wheat went up again. And we have spoken well with Minister Mai that that supply control has to meet with the flour mill, because now the flour mill say, well, you have supply control on a 100-pound bag. And so I said, well, we do 45 kilograms. And so that's not price control. I mean, they're playing games. What the price control is basically on the pound of flour. So because of those things that are constantly changing, we constantly have to be meeting with them on negotiations. But what we want to do, we're committed to try to keep the bread as low as possible, because that's something that people, everybody, uses every day. But also now we have to start to do more Johnny cakes and more flour tortilla at home, because then that ends up to being a little bit cheaper than buying the bread.
After the break, 2,000 parcels of land now available for Belize City residents in the 8 Mile community.
Go back to school and beyond when you upgrade your smartphone or tablet to a Samsung. The affordable line of high-tech devices are the perfect back-to-school tool that you can fit in the palm of your hands. Whether you're shopping for a starter phone or a high-end device, the Galaxy A series has an option to fit your needs. The awesome lineup includes the A03, A12, A13, A22, A23, A33, and Tab A7 LTE and A7 Lite. So unlock these offers and get your 1-year warranty only when you shop at authorized Samsung resellers countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Divari, Odette's Home Center, and Westtrack from July 4th to July 31st.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
KTV. Vote for your favorite KTV contestant by texting the number of votes followed by a space, then your contestant's number, and send it to Smart Code 5885. Here are this week's contestants.
Everybody wanna feel Irene, forget the troubles and rock with me. You know feel our reggae music sweet, yeah, yeah.
Ooh, I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg, I remember.
Together, it brings us closer, closer to forever. And there is nothing I could say on my love.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight. And don't forget to tune in every Tuesday, live, only on 5.
summer is coming to an end, so let's end it with a bang. Come see kids from all over the country while they take center stage to show off their talent on Open Your Eyes Summerfest 2022. That's right. Mark your calendars. Friday, August 26th at 6:30 a.m. Come and start your morning right with kids singing and dancing. Also, come take advantage of great food, entertainment, and loads of back-to-school giveaways, including gifts for the first 100 kids who enter the fest. And the best thing of all, entrance is free. So, what are you waiting for? Set your alarm and pencil in that date because Summerfest 2022 is one event you don't want to miss.
Constituents from Belize City in Caribbean Shores and Freetown queued up at the Belize City Center today to take advantage of the Ministry of Natural Resources Mobile Land Clinic. The roving clinic, which has been held in several parts of the country, was organized to expedite the services provided by the ministry. The assistance being offered ranges from renewing expired leases to processing applications for purchasing a property. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Belizeans across the country can attest to the fact that a visit to the Lands Department is time-consuming and often frustrating. Commissioner of Lands, Talbert Brackett, explains that due to long lines and backlogs within the system, completing a simple transaction can take up to 3 months.
If you have a leasehold interest and you want to convert it to freehold interest, you would have to, you could go to any of our district office and there's a cashier. You take a line, you would have to take the queue if you come and somebody is ahead of you. But that will be one day. And then when you leave, there are instruments that precedes. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and somebody has before that digit, then those are inputted and those are executed before yours.
Through its mobile land clinic, the Ministry of Natural Resources has been able to cut down that 3 months process to just 1 day. The expedited service starts with a brief vetting process conducted by the relevant area representative. Today, area representatives Francis Fonseca and Karim Musa met with their constituents at the Belize Civic Center.
So there's a lot of issues that our constituents face. For example, in the Buttonwood Bay area of Caribbean Shores, a lot of the leases have expired. And so a lot of my constituents are here to renew their leases and or to apply to purchase the property so that they can convert it to a freehold title. And then also a lot of them want to convert their title to first registration to get a land certificate.
The Minister of Natural Resources, Cordell Hyde, then signs off on the land documents. Over the course of 2 days, Minister Hyde will authenticate more than 300 land documents. Why is your signature needed on the documents?
Well, someone has to take responsibility for what's issued, and so ultimately my signature is me taking responsibility for any lease or any purchase approval or any title that's issued. Someone has to be held responsible. It has gone through a certain process before it reaches me. We have a bunch of people who have to go through the file to verify that it's national land, verify that we have the privilege or the right to issue it, verify that you know, the location is reasonable, it's not in a sensitive area, it's not in a reserve area. If it's for residential purposes, then, you know, it's in a residential area.
But the heart of this operation is not the Minister of Natural Resources, neither the area representatives present. It is the staff of the ministry that gets the work done. They have been working tirelessly across the country to complete land transactions in record time.
Ultimately, that is what we are being paid to do. We are being paid to make people happy. We are being paid to improve people's lives. And the only way we can do that is if we complete the process. And so it's about pushing within human limits, of course, because sometimes they get really, really tired because it's demanding work. And there's something that money can't buy. And a certain gratification that comes with seeing people relieved, seeing people ecstatic, seeing people cry even when they get a paper that's eluded them for many, many, many years.
There's no backlog here.
Right.
It's a direct right. system.
And that's what makes it such an effective
yes.
approach.
It is very effective.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
We also asked Minister Hyde about the revenues being generated from these mobile land clinics. Here is what he told us about that.
In terms of revenue, it depends on where you go, right? Like some areas, you know, they're less endowed than others. So, for example, when we went to San Pedro over a couple of days, we collected over $200,000 in revenue. Some other places, it's 40, it's less. But at the end of the day, we don't really measure it by that as much as we do. We measure it really by how many people we make happy, how many people's lives we positively impact, how many people now have a land paper that they can bank, they can send their children to school, they can send themselves to school, or they can get a mortgage and really start seeing some headway in life and uplifting themselves. It's about trying to empower the people who don't have. So that's a big thing for us.
On Wednesday, the government of Belize sought approval from the House of Representatives to spend $2 million to develop land in the Mile 8 community. According to Minister of Natural Resources, Cordell Hyde, 2,000 parcels of residential lots in the Mile 8 community have been distributed to Belize City residents. He says that the $2 million will be used to create roads so that those first-time landowners can gain access to their properties.
There's a $2 million in here to start putting in the roads for the nascent Mile 8 community. As you know, there's hardly any land available or any land available to speak of in Belize City, and so we've given hundreds of Belize City residents lots at Mile 8, but they've not been able to reach those lots because we've not been able to put in the streets. So I'm happy to report that this supplementary appropriation will see the Ministry of Infrastructure start that process where the roads will be put in. I know a lot of people were frustrated because they really want to reach their land and they couldn't, and I think some of them didn't think we were serious. But we're here to say today we are serious. And we're here to say to them also, as frustrated as you got, you must cradle this opportunity. It's a big deal. They're spending a few $100s to get a lot that's valued over $20,000. You can't beat that with a hammer. You need to cradle that opportunity. You need to go and pay your purchase price and get your title and hug that up real tightly. Resist the temptation. Resist the temptation for a few dollars. Resist the temptation to sell your land. Land is a valuable resource and it's a finite resource. So if you sell your land, it may not be so easy to get another piece. So we want to encourage our people. Once you get your land, not sell it. Not get like no crackhead and sell your thing. Hold on to your thing.
Of the 2,000 parcels of land distributed in the Mile 8 community, Caribbean Shores constituents received 75 lots. Area Representative Kareem Musa says those first-time landowners from his constituents are grateful for the opportunity. He is hopeful that he can facilitate more of his voters the next time around.
We facilitated last year 75 of our constituents, first-time landowners with a piece of land at Mile 8. As you might have heard yesterday, the Deputy Prime Minister speaking on the motion for a supplementary budget of $2 million to create a road access to this community. We are very grateful for that chance for our first-time landowners to get a piece of land there, and we're hoping to get more because that's always an issue as area representative, and we're hoping that each year we can give back to our community and to our constituents who are most deserving. All our constituents are most deserving of a piece of land.
How great is the need in your constituency?
Very much, and I'm sure that it is in every single constituency across the country. Like I said, a lot of people get frustrated at times, and one could imagine that the workload at the Lands Department is a hefty one, and there's a lot of backlog.
When we return, National Women's Commission joins investigation into suicide of female BDF soldier. But first, here is the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
International Music and Food Festival took place on July 30th and 31st, 2022 at the Sacachispas Field in San Pedro. During the 2 nights, La Isla Bonita came alive with music, energetic performances, and Belize's kaleidoscopic cuisine. Combining international and national performances, the festival brought together 15 well-known and up-and-coming local artists alongside 12 international artists. Local artists had the opportunity to develop their skills and elevate their performances and open the festival on both nights. To kickstart the event was the food festival with 21 vendors from San Pedro, Keycocker, Orange Walk, and Belize City. Attendees enjoyed an assortment of traditional local cuisine, street food, seafood, natural juices, and mixed drinks. As the sun set, the night became alive with vibrant performances ranging from reggae, Afrobeats, dancehall, soca, punta, to Latin. The 2-day festival was held to close in the gap between Belize's high and low tourism seasons. PGIA arrivals, which bring 90% of tourism traffic into Belize, increased by over 20% in July during the weekend of the festival. That represented over 50% an increase versus last year's visitors. As envisioned, the festival fueled economic activity on the island. Close to 9,000 persons attended the concert, with around 7,000 estimated visitors to San Pedro between July 28th to the 31st alone. Close to $5.4 million was pumped into the island community during the festival, with transportation, hotels, golf cart rentals, and other establishments, big and small, benefiting from this trickling down effect.
From the preparation to the whole festival itself, it was just a great experience. A lot of businesses as well were able to benefit from this music and food festival, and the exposure was just simply amazing. For that weekend, I believe everybody was able to make their money and just have an experience of their own to see what a festival is like. I mean, Belize never actually had an international, like a huge festival like that apart from the Costa Maya. It wasn't something that we were able to experience, and I think we should continue that.
The Belize Music and Food Festival positively impacted San Pedro Express. It was definitely an increase. We noticed early purchases of tickets heading over to San Pedro, and over the weekend, the 29th and 31st, there was a significant increase in traffic here. Typically, we wouldn't see locals traveling during this whole season over to San Pedro, so the Belize Music Festival really did create an economic boost for us.
The business was very, very good because there were a lot of people here on the island, and we rent all of our golf carts and the gift shop. We had people coming in, so that was very good again. And I thank BTB for that festival they did here in San Pedro. Good, great.
The overall experience on the island, I believe it was a complete success. Our resort was sold out. Many of the establishments in town and resorts were pretty much packed. It was an overwhelming, really busy during the time that it's normally always really slow.
As a resort, we would definitely, we look forward to it next year. And I believe everyone also in San Pedro or wherever it will be hosted again, so it was positive, and I believe that it should continue.
The Belize Food and Music Festival affected my business in such a way that I now have more customers from out district. It was a success, I must say. I was very privileged to be there, and it was a good turnout sales-wise and well for my staff, because they all made a little extra, so we all won something.
Our experience at the food festival was amazing. There was a tremendous, huge crowd out there that our staff managed to handle. At the end of the day, it was successful and it was worth it.
My experience at the food festival was a fantastic evening full of Belizeans. We saw people that we haven't seen for a long time, but at the bottom line, it was such a beautiful event. The weekend was a very good weekend for all San Pedranos. The restaurant here at Delby's was packed with Belizeans and Americans, and at the festival we sold out both nights.
Well, in this post-COVID economy, it's really hard to know what to expect, but we were quite surprised in the amount of business that we got in. Was almost exclusively from locals. We had to put on extra flights. Before COVID, we used to travel every hour between San Pedro and Belize Municipal. We had to go back to an hourly service to handle the load, which was very surprising.
I am excited and can't wait for next year to offer our business for the food festival.
I just want the public to know that this was the first time ever that there is a festival where we didn't have to pay for the booth, and they gave us 3 passes for our workers. If you needed any more, well, it was done. We didn't have to worry about signs. They did it for us free, our menus, and they were beautiful. Kudos to BTB, and thank you again for the festival.
Man, it was fun, and it was just a great way to expose our business.
The grocery stores were busy, the taxis were busy, the golf cart rentals were all busy. It definitely had a positive effect on the San Pedro economy, which affects everything. As tourism, the money goes in kind of at the top of the economy and then it trickles down, so it's definitely had a positive effect.
In addition to boosting local tourism, the Belize International Music and Food Festival will further contribute to Belize's tourism and creative sectors. The profits from the festival will be used to create the Orange Economy Fund that will bring together Belize's cultural and artistic talents to strengthen the local economy. With this in mind, an investment will be made in 3 music studios in Belize City, Orange Walk, and Dangriga. This will ensure Belizean artists have access to a high-quality studio to enhance their music and raise the level of their craft. An international consulting firm has also been contracted to examine and prepare a strategy to merge Belizean music and tourism for the benefit of the artists and strengthening of our tourism product.
The festival helped me a lot more working with William Neal, very strict and direct with what he wanted, and he made sure that we execute at the end of the day. So today I am a very more confident performer, I must say, after this festival.
In regards with this show, it was another step up for the Belizean artists, not only myself, right? Because what happened is that we did the rehearsals every Sunday at Bird's Isle.
I believe that the preparations that we made to make this festival happen were very crucial, and I think it helped in the sense that we got to work closely with the band and the backup dancers.
For me, what helped me the most was the choreography, because I'm a little stiff sometimes on stage. I don't know no dancer, but practicing a couple times, I missed a couple practice, but even the times that I did win actually helped me to be a little more loose, getting tips from other artists and getting tips from the dancers, and William and Stamp actually helped me a lot.
Yes, it's nice to have international artists on our venues, but I mean, like, we actually built the Belizean segment. So in further future references, I would love to see just Belizean artists.
At one point I found myself standing there like, wow, I'm really doing this. And the minute I stepped on that stage, the crowd was like, woo.
I was glad to interact with the fans. It was a great experience, and I just hope that from here it just gets bigger and greater.
This enhanced my performances because I haven't performed ever so long, ever since COVID came, right? So I mean, like, it was a stepping game for us again.
Because of the type of show it was, and with the band, and very professional, and I had the chance to sing songs that people might not know, some songs that I really, really like, that isn't for like a jerk fest or those kind of show, like, I had the chance to actually deliver a good performance with dancers and sing on my heart. I captured a different kind of audience.
Them as the promoters, BTB and John Marsden, and I have to mention William Neal, Joseph Stamp, all of them who came together and wanted the best for us. One night we felt what it felt to feel the way international artists always, felt. So that experience, I can't even explain how grateful I am, how appreciative I am of that experience, and I can't wait to do it again.
The first Belize International Music and Food Festival was coordinated by the Belize Tourism Board in partnership with the National Institute of Culture and History, Protected Areas Conservation Trust, and the San Pedro Town Council, along with a host of sponsors. Savor the rhythm of Belize at the next Belize International Music and Food Festival.
Police officers attached to the National Prosecution Branch are participating in a 3-day training course geared towards sharpening their skills in effectively pursuing criminal cases in court. Today at the Radisson, they paid keen attention to presentations made by attorneys and other facilitators. The goal is that police prosecutors will be successful against seasoned criminal lawyers where convictions are concerned. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
The fundamentals of criminal prosecution are important for a law enforcement officer who is responsible for pursuing legal action against an individual who stands accused of committing an offense. More often than not, police prosecutors are heavily criticized for failing to secure convictions in criminal matters for a number of reasons, including their knowledge of court procedures.
Being a prosecutor is always a learning experience. We never know everything, and training always helps. There are some things that we believe we're doing right, and only by us training constantly that we understand what is the practicable thing to do and what is the right thing, and sometimes we get assistance from others to clarify doubt or to help us in situations where we might otherwise make mistakes.
So if I have a case which deals with a joinder,
teaching them the basics of putting together a case and presenting it before the court is attorney Darrell Bradley. The former Belize City mayor has made a name for himself as a competent lawyer. Today, he is instructing a cohort of officers attached to the National Prosecution Branch. That department is headed by Senior Crown Counsel Alifa Elrington.
The training is about advocacy, it's about criminal procedure. I'm concentrating this year on witness management in particular. Since coming into prosecution branch in 2019, I believed that there was need for better development and training of the prosecutors. My prosecutors are police prosecutors who go up every day in the magistrate's court against trained attorneys. So I believe that they needed to build more confidence because I have several prosecutors who have been prosecuting for years.
For the most part, those men and women in uniform have been doing so without proper training. In essence, what they have been doing is learning by trial and error. That informal tuition, in the context of a poor conviction rate, often comes at the expense of the victims or their loved ones. Nonetheless, the opportunity to acquire the right skills is to the advantage of officers who are interested in criminal prosecution.
I am hoping to be a prosecutor one day with this training and what I already know, because me and the prosecutor I'm presently working with, we work hand to hand. I would sit and we would talk about cases together, and he would give me insight on why he did this or why he did that, and that helped my knowledge a little.
The idea is to train prosecutors on how to establish ironclad cases that are able to withstand intense scrutiny from the best criminal lawyers in the business.
I have said to them since I've been here, if you know your case, Dickie Bradley and Ellis Arnall and O.J. Elrington can't come and poke holes in your case, because as a good prosecutor, having looked at your case, you would have already identified the holes that a defense attorney could come and poke or come and try to dismantle your case. So what I say to them, it's not achieving justice for me. It's not necessarily a conviction. It is getting to the point where the court says to a defendant, you have a case to answer. Explain to me why, after what the prosecutor has presented, I shouldn't convict you of the offense.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
The Belize Defense Force has been faced with a number of tragedies in recent weeks. While with Brigadier General Azaria Loria, earlier today, he was asked for an update on the investigation surrounding the death of BDF Micah Miguel. She was on suicide watch just ahead of the tragedy, which was later compounded by allegations that she had been sexually assaulted at Price Barracks. Loria told the media today that a full investigation is being conducted on this case and that the National Women's Commission has joined in on the inquiry.
We knew that Private Miguel was having mental problems, and she was getting treatment from our from our mental facility, our counseling section. She attempted to take her life, I think last year, and she was being monitored, and she was given further counseling by our psychologist. When I was told that she committed suicide, and I believe that this has never done before, I ordered an investigation. But in my mind, the investigation was to a court of inquiry on how, what led to her doing that step, that unfortunate step, and that ended her life. And later on, more allegations came up. So the Women's Commission decided to take part of the investigation, which we readily accepted. It's a joint investigation that we want, that we are doing at present. Our investigation is ongoing. It's an internal investigation that we are doing jointly. They have had a meeting with the acting chief of staff. And I believe that the next step is to have that investigation going. I have not been formally told. I only saw it in the news that the police department is also conducting their own investigation. So that is external, which is welcome, because at the end of the day, we want to find out what was the real cause of that tragedy, correct, and continue to improve.
The Belize Police Department is also carrying out an investigation into the allegations of sexual assault of Micah Miguel. It is not the first time that allegations of crimes of a sexual nature have been made against the BDF. Brigadier General Loria was asked about how the military addresses these kinds of issues.
We have been getting reports of sexual allegations. The investigation for this particular one is ongoing. It's ongoing, and if there are reports of that indeed sexual assaults happen, we'll get to know, because we have the Women's Commission on board, and we will do something about it. I am concerned, yes. We have done our, I think 2 years ago, we had allegations of rape. I think that one or two cases are still with the police. The police are investigating it, and still they have not managed to reach a conclusion into that. We are still awaiting. We devised our protocols, our standing operational procedures on how we are going to address it. But the BDF stance is that zero tolerance when it comes to it, and it's on the individual. If he or she wants to get assistance internally or externally, we are open to anything that the victim may want to or may choose to do.
Any person within the BDF is found guilty of having perpetrated any kind of assault against any member of the BDF, is that person going to be taken out of the force?
If anybody is culpable during or at the conclusion of the investigation, a police matter, if they investigate it externally, the police will definitely take it to the courts, and the judges will decide on the fate of the individual. In the Belize Defense Force, depending on the case, if the soldier is found guilty, we have various sorts of punishments. It could be could lead to from summary disposal, summary trials to court martials. And again, if the court martial is formed up, then the judge will decide what the conviction or the punishment will be.
Just ahead, inter-office basketball season is back again.
When all hope is lost and the days ahead look grim, we find ourselves looking for someone to shake things up, rescue us, and point us in the right direction. What if the one we've been waiting for has been here all along? Join us for our new series, Troublemaker, as we learn about a man who wasn't afraid to stand up for what's right to make this world a better place.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
I'm always on the go, and the country is my home. So when I want to get away from it all, I immerse myself with my favorite movies, all from the new Smart Stream app. It's easy to use this service. Purchase your movies from the app and use your mobile data, Smart Stream data packages, or smart broadband to stream and enjoy. Be like me and stream on the go with Smart Stream.
Standing over this. Messi.
Great entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
Hello eCash user, the eCash app is now available in Spanish. Changing the language in your eCash app from English to Spanish is quick and easy. Let me walk you through the steps. First, open your eCash app. Enter your PIN. Tap the More icon at the bottom of your screen. Choose Security. Select Language. Tap on Spanish. Then re-enter your PIN. And that's it! Your eCash app is now in Spanish, and you can continue to enjoy your eCash digital wallet. Belize Bank's eCash app makes life easier.
4 days into the start of the new school year, Ladyville Technical High School is the recipient of an addition to one of its existing buildings, which will be used as a first form classroom. Today, the official inauguration of the extended space was held at the institution as the institution solidifies a partnership with the Belize Defense Force and the Ministry of Education. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
The academic year 2022 commenced earlier this week for high schools, and to accommodate the influx of students at Ladyville Technical High School, an additional classroom was installed at the institution. Approximately $20,000 in material were paid for by the school, and the Belize Defense Forces Light Engineering Company applied its expertise to construct the classroom.
For the last 5 years, we have been rotating our intake at first form. So if 1 year I would have an intake of 5 first form classes, the following year when they are promoted, I can only take 4 because we did not have the additional classroom. Now that we have it, I was able to now take 5 first form this year. July 5th, the work actually started. So the soldiers from the specific battalion came onto our campus and they worked every day until we're now here today.
The school currently has an enrollment of 490 students. 32 of them have been assigned to the new classroom. The building took about 6 weeks to be completed by the BDF soldiers.
We have the light engineer company that have qualified people. They are graduates from the IT vet. They are plumbers, they are carpenters, electricians, masons, air conditioning, the plethora of what IT vet offers, we have it in that unit. So whichever school that requests for it, once they provide the material, we have the manpower and we can get it done.
A memorandum of understanding was also signed between Ladyville Tech and the BDF. This partnership will allow for soldiers and their families to study at the institution.
We are requesting the assistance from the Ministry of Education to provide scholarship for our soldiers, scholarship opportunities, especially when the program for the evening division is finalized here in Ladyville Tech. Then we're going to take advantage of that and many other opportunities that we can capitalize on. We'll do that.
It is similar to another MOU that was signed between the University of Belize and the Belize Coast Guard. Minister of Education Francis Fonseca says his intention is to develop a comprehensive MOU between the ministry and the BDF to provide greater opportunities for members of these law enforcement agencies and their children.
You know, how can we work more closely together? How can we collaborate? How can we provide greater opportunities for the men and women of the Belize Defense Force and their families, their children? As well, how can the Ministry of Education take advantage of the great depository of expertise that we have in the Belize Defense Force? I mean, you know, the Belize Defense Force has some of the most highly trained people in this country. And I think we have to find ways of taking advantage of that expertise, that wealth of knowledge that we have in the BDF.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
A new season of inter-office basketball kicks off on Friday after a lengthy hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A mashup of 10 teams will be participating in the upcoming games. This afternoon, News 5 spoke with Winder Elrington of the Inter-Office Basketball League. He says that the season is dedicated to the memory of Ian Mariano, a stalwart of the IBL and the sport of basketball. He passed away in November 2020 from COVID-19.
The IBL, Inter-Office Basketball League, a lot of things happen. Everything that concern about basketball, you could see tomorrow at the game. The game open tomorrow 7 o'clock. 6 big team, rivalry team, will be playing each other, and in those teams you will see a lot of good players due to the fact that NEBL hasn't been operating for the past 2 years, 8 months. You'll see a lot of those players participating in the IBL.
What has it been like for you guys organizing this new season and for the teams who are preparing themselves to compete in this season?
It has been challenging, and the reason I say challenging is because as you all know that one of our founding member, Ian Mariano, the late Ian Mariano, who was a vital person in the arrangement or the preparing of the league, is no longer with us. So this right here, he would have been the one sitting with you, talking with you, telling you everything that needs to get done when it comes to inter-office.
It all kicks off tomorrow. Who are some of the teams, and who do you believe, perhaps after seeing them practice in the off-season, who do you believe are some of the teams that one should look out for this season?
I don't want to make a mistake in calling the name of some of these teams, right? Because each team prepared themselves very well. They had to merge with another company in order to make one big team. And by calling some of these team members, you know, okay, that's a good team. That one is a good team. That, as to who will be the overall champ, like I said, when I called out the names, you yourself wouldn't have a clue as to who would take on the big ring. The regular season games, it's reasonable. The ticket are for a child under the age of 12, it's only $3. General is $5 and the VIP is $7. I mean, when you really look at it, to bring out your family at an event like the IBL tournament that is going on, you wouldn't feel that so much burden to take out your family, and because it's a family oriented, and let them watch some nice, clean, and fun game.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.